gotta try to relax. Perhaps I can drown out their childish games with a little TV.
Go! Dum-dum.
Yes?
You do dum-dum, you give me gum-gum.
You know what? I have no gum-gum, sorry. And my name isn't Dum-Dum. My name's Larry.
No, your name Dum-Dum.
In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of kilometers from the nearest shore, stands a tiny island with giant secrets. Easter Island, or as its people call it, Rapa Nui. Here, almost 900 stone giants known as the Moai rise from the earth, staring silently inland. For centuries, people have asked, who built them? How were they moved? And why did the civilization that carved them collapse? But here's what many don't realize. The people of Rapa Nui are not strangers to us. They are Austronesians, part of the same great seafaring family that gave rise to Polynesians, Hawaiians, and Maoris. And even Malays and Indonesians. Rapa Nui is one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth. Over 3,500 kilometers from Chile, the nearest continent. Over 2,000 kilometers from the nearest inhabited island. Sometime around the year 1200, Polynesian navigators crossed the open ocean in double-hulled canoes, guided only by stars, waves, and birds. They brought with them plants like taro and sweet potatoes, chickens, and their culture. Here on this volcanic island, they began to carve a civilization unlike any other. The Rapa Nui carved Moai out of volcanic rock. Massive statues up to 10 meters tall, weighing as much as 80 tons. Nearly 900 of them dot the island. They were not placed to face the ocean as you might expect. Instead, almost every Moai faces inland. They watch over the villages like ancestral guardians protecting their descendants. The mystery is not just why they were built, but how such a small and isolated society moves stones so enormous. But another question remains. How did the rocks themselves get here? Were they carved from the island's own volcanic quarries or transported from somewhere else? Archaeologists have since discovered that most Moai were carved from a single quarry at Rano Raraku, a volcanic crater on the island. Half-finished statues still lie embedded in its slopes, evidence of the massive effort that took place here. The quarry itself holds the key. The rocks didn't come from afar, but from the island's own heart of stone. Over centuries, Easter Island captured the imagination of the world. In the 1960s, Swiss author Erich von Däniken suggested in his new book, Chariots of the Gods, that aliens helped build the Moai.
You cannot exclude that they are representation of celestial ancestors. We have all these statues, and the faces of the statues do not look like the Easter Islanders.
His ancient astronaut theory became famous, sparking decades of speculations. Others claimed Easter Island was once part of a lost civilization like Atlantis. That only advanced technology could explain such massive statues. Even European explorers who landed in the 1700s and the 1800s dismissed the Rapa Nui. They saw an isolated people with simple tools and refused to believe they could carve and move giants of stone. But these doubts said more about the outsiders' arrogance than the islanders' abilities. Because the truth is, the Rapa Nui achieved something remarkable. Using nothing more than stone, tools, ropes, teamwork, and the sheer determination. The Moai weren't dragged lying down, they were made to walk. Using ropes tied around the head and base, teams of islanders rocked the statue side to side, inching them forward. It's like moving a massive refrigerator across the floor. In 2012, researchers tested this theory with a 5-ton replica Moai, and it worked. The statue walked across the ground, proving that islanders' method was possible. No aliens, no lost technology, just human ingenuity and the will to honor their ancestors. At its height, Rapa Nui society thrived. Clans competed to carve bigger and more impressive Moai, each statue a monument to power and pride. But in the process, they cut down the island's forest. Palm trees that once covered the island were felled for moving statues, for building canoes, for firewood. The consequences were devastating. Without trees, soil eroded, crops failed, fishing declined. Starvation then spread and civil war erupted. Rival clans toppled each other's Moai, breaking the very symbol that once gave them strength. The great civilization of Rapa Nui fell into collapse. Then in 1722, outsiders arrived. Dutch explorers set foot on the island on Easter Sunday, giving it the name we know today. What they found was shocking. Crops were poor, trees were gone, and the people were struggling. Over the next centuries, more ships came. In 1770, the Spanish claimed the island for their empire. In 1774, Captain James Cook arrived, noting toppled statues and a dwindling population. But the real devastation came in the 1800s. Slave traders raided Rapa Nui, capturing thousands of islanders and selling them in South America. Most never returned. Those who did return brought with them disease like smallpox and tuberculosis, which tore through the remaining population. By the late 19th century, only a few hundred Rapa Nui remained. Their land was taken for sheep ranches, their culture nearly erased. What endured were the Moai and the spirit of the survivors. But Easter Island is not just a ruin. Today, around 8,000 people still live there, many of them descendants of the original Rapa Nui. They speak their own language, practice their traditions, and honor the Moais as symbol of their ancestors. Beyond culture, their daily lives mix old and new. Fishing, small-scale farming, and tourism make up much of the island's economy. Visitors come from all over the world to see the Moai, providing income but also creating challenges for preservation.
They're just crazy. There's so many. Look, way more over there too.
Families still gather for traditional dances and rituals, while young people balance between preserving Rapa Nui identity and living in a modern, connected world. The statues are not forgotten relics. They are part of a living culture. Politically, Rapa Nui today is a special territory for Chile, which administers the island. This adds another layer to the island's life. While Rapa Nui people remain proud of their heritage, they also navigate their place within the Chilean state, balancing autonomy, identity, and the pressure of tourism-driven modernity. The Moai of Easter Island are more than stone faces. They are warning carved in rocks, proof of how ambition can drive people to greatness and to destruction. Proof that even the most skilled navigators, the same Austronesian spirit that links Polynesians, Malays, and Indonesians, can lose their way when they exhaust the world that sustains them. Yet, the survival of the Rapa Nui today tells another story, that even on the edge of the world, culture endures. And the stone faces still watch, reminding us that our past, our present, and our survival are all carved from the same